It's the right tool for the right job, and it might be the most said phrase in our comment section. And it also makes you, when you say that phrase, it instantaneously gives you probably around 20 more IQ points. So open up chess.com, say that phrase 5 times and win every chess match you can think of. But we get tired of this phrase because it is like, yeah, okay, if you want the right tool for the right job, we all know that that is true. Yeah. We would also like to use tools for jobs that it isn't designed for. And we're going to talk all about that because I think there are a lot of misconceptions about this phrase. Yeah. And I think we have the tools today and the skills to make you think different. But if you don't, let us know in the comment section.
Mikkie, it's actually very funny because a lot of people say this, guys, why are you doing this with that knife? Because, you know, right tool for the right job. Yeah. Or for most of the guys, take an axe. Okay? Yeah. But then the same people, they say this. The best survival knife is the knife that you have with you.
Yeah.
So
it's very hard.
Very hard for us
to. You can hear that we have a very rough life, don't you, Martin?
Yeah. Yeah. It's not easy to be.
Well, if you want to make it more easy, or even if you don't, but you just want a very nice strop, this video is sponsored by... Wait, is this video sponsored by Tools for Gents? This video is sponsored by Tools for Gents, yo! For the real gentleman! Shit.
Tools for Gents.
Oh, that was very funny. And
Mikkie,
go to their website and buy a lot of stuff because that also supports us indirectly. Yep. But nevertheless, we also have a special announcement. We've got a new strop. And might I say, it is exactly the same as all the
do you remember the big pedal strop, Mikkie? I like the smaller brother!
I think I might like it more than the big one, to be honest.
I mean, it's like the perfect size in between. It's like the field strop, but with a little bit more body and a nice handle to hold it.
So maybe, I would say I prefer this one over the big one. And
I think it's really cute.
Let's start off with these very pretty folders.
Yeah.
Oh my God, pretty. Oh my God, pretty.
I mean, you don't see them often on our channel.
Nope.
And when you do, you probably see them being used in a bushcraft environment.
Yeah, and I don't think we've ever heard the comment, the right tool for the right job, as much as when we've reviewed folders. But that's also because, well, the first reason is because folders are not designed to do anything bushcrafty, but our whole channel is about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so using knives for bushcraft knives. It's not a review bushcraft knives, it's that we review knives
Martin,
in a bushcraft scenario.
I've got a problem with my chair. And I think that's a problem for us because either we have the choice no folders at all, or we have the choice make the folders work. So
and
you've got a lot of channels in the world. I don't know if you've noticed, people. If you want, you can also watch a other channel than DBK. I would rather have you watch us all day long. But nevertheless, if you want, you can watch other channels and they make a lot of videos about folding knives.
And my personal opinion is it's pretty boring to make a video about doing EDC stuff with your folder. That's like a video opening a box, video peeling an apple, saying, oh, it does this well.
Yeah.
And then you have your 99% of EDC stuff.
Yeah,
but
I think it's charming that I know of another channel who does bushcrafting stuff with folders and tries to make it work. So,
and Mikkie, sometimes it just gives us really pleasant and interesting surprises. Can I say, like this, for example, the Benchmade Freek, the Super Freek. This, we asked like 4 different brands to send up their sturdiest folder, like the extra.
I think it was Cold Steel, Fox, Extreme Maration.
Yeah, like the RA2, you know, the Beast folder that even has like a lock for batoning.
Yeah.
And then Benchmade sent in the Freek, and it was like the tiniest of all these 3 knives. And
we told them, are you sure?
Yeah,
look at these other knives that we have. And even they were like, yeah, go ahead, but okay, the competition is going to be very tough. Yeah, then we tested it. What was the result?
Mikkie, it was not the winner, but it was the biggest surprise. Yeah. Because this knife, it had no wiggle, it held up brilliantly. And the amazing thing was that it was still like the size that you would actually EDC.
Then the next surprise came when we tested out the...
another Benchmade, the Benchmade bug out.
Yeah, and it's not like we're huge Benchmade fans, and I know a lot of you think you pay way too much.
Yeah, but it's actually one of my favorite EDCs that you got there.
We've batoned with this knife fully,
Yeah, because
and it didn't have anything from it. While we did it with the mini Animus, and the mini Animus couldn't do it.
But Mikkie, the reason why we tested this like that is because it was called the bug out, and they said it's like the perfect, you know, backup knife that you throw in your pants or in your backpack, and then it could help you as a backup knife on a survival trip, whatever, or on a bushcraft trip when you really need it. And this knife provided, it could actually baton way harder than I would ever expect from a folder.
Then you went to the IWA and then you spoke to, I think it was Rudy van Poppel.
Yeah.
And he told you that he did not like some of the tests we did with folders because some folders are designed with very small details that really matter.
You like the mechanics for opening the knife, for example.
Exactly, and that you also pay for that and the quality and stuff. And when you do a harder stress test, you immediately damage that because it's just not designed for that.
He said like one whack is enough to destroy that very smooth mechanism that you paid for so much.
Yeah, and then you have like this knife, our newest folder, the Valknieven Gentleman's knife, or even my most used knife, the Valknieven TK3. Or maybe even everybody's most used knife.
Wait, the Victorinox.
Yeah, I mean, this is my first knife. And I gotta say, if from all these folders I had to keep one, I'd probably go for the TK3 because it's very expensive and I love the looks. Or I would go for the Gentleman's knife, but not for a sturdy one. I would actually, myself, I would never carry one of these very sturdy folders. Yeah, maybe as a backup knife, but it's just not my style. I like knives that you don't, folding knives that you do not do rough tasks with.
And I actually do carry the Benchmade bug out a lot.
Yeah, because you don't care about looks.
But not for its, no, I carry the one with aluminium. It looks good.
I don't think I...
Yeah, it looks good. Looks really good. Yeah, really good. Maybe you don't look good either. But anyway, I don't even carry it for its sturdiness. I carry it because it's so slim and so light that I don't even feel the fact that I'm carrying it. That's why I carry that knife. So for me, it's very important to have like for EDC knife. That it's slim and that I don't notice it on me.
Valknieven asked us not to baton stuff with it. We did do it.
A little bit.
Yeah, and it survived. So it is very nice to see. Basically what it all comes down to is, you know what a folder can do. Yeah. And I mean, steel matters a whole lot. So we always test the steel and you know the basic stuff. But we want to see how far can you take that knife. And then
car manufacturers, they drive their cars into a wall, not because a car is made to be driven into a wall. It's to see what the limits of it are.
Next we go over to military knives. Well, there's also a big misconception amongst the military
we get a lot of critique on this.
Yeah, because they say military knives, it's not designed for that, right tool, right job, blah,
especially,
blah, blah, blah.
Mikkie, I think on like the K-bar. K-bar is something that a lot of people know the knife and they are proud of the brand and they're proud of the knife because of its history. And sometimes I think those things, those nostalgic feelings or whatever, they kind of, you know, blur the fact that it's just not really a good knife in 2023.
Let me take you to the military knives because I've got one here and this is what people think a military knife looks like. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. It is actually not at all. This is what a military knife looks like. Yeah, this is a real K-bar. This is not a knockoff. And I think we broke every K-bar by not doing
all K-bar USMCs.
Yeah, and not by doing something very taskful.
No, just by a design issue with their tanks.
It is pretty unbelievable. But then, look, this looks more like a bushcrafting knife. But according to who was this one of the most used knives in the Finnish military?
Yeah, to themselves.
What we've been told.
These are used a lot by the Finnish military.
Yeah, and I mean, that is a brilliant choice. I mean, it is not expensive. It can do every task. It is almost indestructible. And
this is actually a very usable knife. And I would say, Mikkie, in modern combat, you know, a knife is 99.9% used for opening cans, opening rations,
killing.
No, not killing. You know, opening med packs, whatever. Back in the day when knives were very often used in combat, they used this. A bayonet.
I can promise you that this is way sturdier than this.
Yeah, this kills. This is made for keeping somebody at a distance.
Yeah.
You are not going to fight with a knife like that only if you are in a really shitty situation, and the other 99% of the time, you're gonna use a knife like that much better for making your fires, opening your rations, whatever, preparing your food.
If you say that a military knife is designed for killing,
Yeah.
then you basically just deny a channel to make a video at all. Because I don't care about killing. I don't think you should kill with any knife.
No.
Except when you are in the military and
trying to survive.
And yeah, it's dire need. But then I have to struggle. Every ounce of weight that you carry with you on a mission, has to have a multi-purpose use.
Yeah.
And when you are carrying a knife that is solely capable of going right between somebody's ribs and not doing anything else, well, first of all, we don't have a video.
Yeah.
And second of all, that is a shit knife, because this knife can do exactly that, but can do way, way more.
And
if somebody is gonna end up in a survival situation, it's gonna be somebody in the military. It's gonna be, the chances are going to be way higher than somebody in.
That was my
like
biggest problem with the K-bar. Yeah, a lot of people had to survive with the K-bar. Yeah, because they didn't have anything else.
No.
But in the Vietnam War, whatever, there were a lot of people having to survive with a knife, and they would have been much better off with a knife like that than the K-bar. But they had to do it with the K-bar.
Yeah.
And Mikkie,
I'm sensing an angry tone. Maybe we should calm ourselves down, because we are not
somebody
angry guys.
Somebody told me from the United States, and I think he had a very valid point, is that at a certain time, the sidearms of soldiers became so effective and good, well made, that the knife was like a very last resort. You know, the knife was your sidearm back in the day. Now you have a pistol as a sidearm.
Okay.
And the knife, you can better have like a Victorinox to open up your rations, make stuff around the camp.
And reduce the weight.
And carry your pistol, because that's a way better option for killing. And and I think that was a very valid point.
I mean, not all military knives are this weak. Look at the Glock. I would just say, it is just amazing how good this knife, a Peltonen knife, performs compared to one of those knives. And that
Swedish military, they get a Mora.
Yeah.
Or a phone even. If you're lucky, you get a phone even.
Yeah, because this is also given to the Air Force, but then the F1 version.
Yeah, it's right here.
Nice. Hey, but that brings us to survival knives. And I would say that the term survival knife, I always cringe a little bit at the term, because survival, the definition of survival is actually got nothing to do with a knife. Because if you look at Les Stroud, he survives, or used to survive, whatever he had with him. And in the beginning, in those first episodes, he used a Leatherman.
Yeah.
And he did.
And I didn't want to be in that position, actually, because for me, I am comfortable with a knife like the phone even A1.
In no episode of Les Stroud, that is one of these famous survivor guys. You know, in no episode of Les Stroud, Survivorman, has he ever failed because of a knife, that his knife was a full tang or a folder or whatever. And don't think that Leatherman has on their side that the Leatherman is a survival knife. No. And I mean, he did everything. So survival was actually used as a term like bushcrafting, doing outdoor stuff, camping, and harder use with a knife, like cutting away bushes.
But the truth is, survival is not trying to die. That's what survival is.
Yeah.
But Mikkie,
and it's very nice if you have a very good knife with you.
But if we're talking about survival knives, as a customer, I'm going to guess that if I buy a survival knife, that this knife is made to withstand anything I throw at it. You know, I have to be able.
What we think of survival.
I have to be able to, when I slip off a rock, off a mountain, or from the ice, I have to be able to pierce that knife in a crack, hang with my full weight on it. You know, that's a survival knife. I have to split open coconuts. I have to. Maybe I don't have an axe with me. I have to baton with it.
Yeah.
And that's where these knives, like the TRC Apocalypse or the Falcon even A1, come in. These are full tang knives that are made to, you don't have to care about those knives. Those knives take care about you. With a Leatherman, for example, you have to take care that you do not damage the knife. And of course, that always remains true a little bit. But these knives, you just have to worry less about them.
Yeah, I think that's what a survival knife is. The survival, the knife that takes care of you instead of you taking care of the knife. And that's the exact opposite of a bushcraft knife, is you take good care of the knife and the knife will
provide.
But that is why I think a survival knife also has to do bushcrafting tasks really nicely, because it is a luxury, the stuff that we all do with knives.
It's just
it is not a necessity. And still I cringe at the term in a survival situation. 0.0000001% of everybody watching is ever, or maybe no one watching us is ever gonna be stuck in a survival situation
unless you work for us,
where they absolutely need a knife like a A1. So that the realistic term of survival is you just want to go outdoors, take as less stuff with you as possible.
And as much knowledge.
And as much knowledge as possible. And you want one knife to do the task of a saw, a axe, a knife. So that's what kind of like I see as the modern term of survival.
Yeah.
Which is actually a sorry, I forgot the English language.
Filter.
Voluntary. Yeah. Voluntary, which is actually a voluntary choice nowadays.
Yeah.
And I can understand, because when we go one step further, and this is the last segment of the video, is bushcrafting knives like this. This kind of
in between.
It's in between, like the rocket knife is also in between. A bushcraft knife. It's nice to have with you when you have the right tools.
Exactly.
So then this is the right tool, because it's a carving knife, Martin.
Yeah, maybe you have a saw with you, an axe with you. And that is something that we also get a lot thrown at us, is why do you guys baton with a knife? Well, first of all, it's a good stress test. You know, of course, normally you would not baton with a folder. But for me,
it has more purposes.
For a knife like an A1, batoning has a really, well, it's one of my main purposes I want this knife to do, because when you're in a campfire, when you are with friends around the campfire, whatever, it's pitch dark. Pitch dark. Whoa,
you have to light up the fire. You have to light up the fire.
Are you going to swing around with an axe, maybe in a cramped campsite, whatever? No. Take a knife, put it on the log, take your baton, pop, 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 pop. Very controlled, very safe in a dark environment.
You wouldn't baton the biggest pieces of wood like we do.
Normally
you would just use you baton easy pieces of wood.
You make the kindling, you know, you light up the fire with it.
When you go fishing,
yeah.
Sometimes you just want to go fishing, like Varco. He goes fishing at the riverside. He takes a few pieces of wood that he finds along the way to his destination of fishing. Why would he want to swing an axe there? Yeah. He just wants to baton a few pieces of wood, make the fire easier.
And I am sorry, maybe I'm a pussy, but if
that's true.
If I go walk 20 miles in Norway, whatever.
Oh, then you're not a pussy.
Yeah, with my backpack on and my water and my food. And
you have done this?
Yeah, I have done this.
Oh, guys,
maybe I don't want to carry a 2-kilogram axe with me. Maybe I just want to carry my Falcon Even A1.
Martin, could you say that again, but not as sarcastically, please?
Sometimes I go hiking in Norway, 20 miles, maybe. That's a lot.
Oh my God, legend.
Let's do 10 miles alone.
Whoa.
I'm carrying gear that I just want to try out during my hike, whatever. I don't want to carry 2 kilograms of an axe. I don't want to carry an axe that weighs 2 kilograms. I just want to carry my A1 or my Bark River Aurora or my TRC Apocalypse. And that is the tool that can make me my fire, that can prepare my food, that can do anything.
The main question of this video is, what is the right job?
Yeah.
What people speak of. I would say the right job is the job that the tool can provide that you have with you. Wow, that's an amazing quote.
And of course, Mikkie, there are knives designed for carving, and that is the right tool for the right job.
You end up in a rabbit hole, because you could say, yeah, but look, this is a great tool for carving a spoon. And then someone said, oh, but that's not the right tool. You've got a carving spoon for that.
Yeah, that's true.
No, not a carving spoon. You have a carving knife for that.
Yeah, exactly.
Spoon knife. Why are you using this?
So yeah, there are like ideal purposes. There are like design choices. A knife can be designed for a certain task, and that you have to respect that when you buy it. And I mean, if you buy this knife and it breaks during batoning, you don't have to call Callum and say, look, your knife broke while batoning, it's a shit knife. No.
Oh, I'm going to say something very controversial.
Whoa.
90% of the reason that all of us, we love knives is not because of necessity.
No.
I don't even think that the reason 99% of the times that we use knives is out of necessity. it is because we want it. And if you look at Raymir's, if you look at, the guys from Dual Survival, if you look at Les Stroud, if you look at all these guys, MacGyver, for God's sake.
MacGyver, damn, MacGyver.
They didn't have the most expensive knives. Well, eventually Raymir's did, but they don't have the most expensive knives. They were all capable to do what they did and what we are doing in these videos with the cheapest knives, because knowledge on how to do something very efficiently, you know, that weighs way more than a knife. So we should all keep in mind that what we are doing and what we are talking about, it all comes down to fun.
Exactly, Mikkie. And that's also why you will see us baton with knives that are not designed for it, is because it's a test. If we don't do it, we are not testing a knife to its limits or whatever. No. You want to see what it can do. We want to see what it can do. And yeah, it's fun. If this knife doesn't survive batoning, that's okay. If it does survive batoning, it's incredible.
It all started when we bought this knife, yeah? Well, it started way earlier than that, but this was the first good knife that we actually bought. And it's a little shorter than it used to be. But it catapulted us into a journey of buying hundreds of knives and seeing if we had a knife that could top this. And that is what this whole channel is, and that is why you watch, and that is why we all love knives. It's because we are looking like we're looking for an alien-like good knife.
And if you want to see the result of that journey, buy the DBK knife. That's the result of it.
For the people who don't understand why the DBK knife is not on the tables, we don't want to do too much self-promotion. We think that's a little bit dirty. We like scamming you, but not that much.
Last time somebody asked, oh, you made a top 5 knives. Why? It's a little bit strange that you design your own knife and that it's not in the top 5. Isn't that like, you know, are you scamming us? No, it's like you're not going to promote yourself or you're not going to vote on yourself in a beauty contest.
Except I did that.
You still lost.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. Please like if you like the video, comment what you think, because maybe you think we're completely wrong. Nevertheless,
and that's okay.
We love making these videos for you, and we love working with knives. We will never stop loving knives, and see you every week 1 p.m. BTC.
Hey, and it's okay to be different.
No, that's not true. Everybody got to be the same.
Okay.